So we were told that we had to do something with this. Not really given any master plan. We come up with an idea. Client loved it, and there it is. Only problem is we just run out of material, so we didn't quite get to putting the soldier on. So that'll have to wait till Monday now. Now we know we've got a drop about 1200. So what I thought was we could have, we put a line 600 from the top of the board, and we've put a trammel in where you can see there. Quickly show you, demonstrate to you. So that comes down to the centre of the line, and then we know then that we can go the opposite way, you see, and that gives us a 1200 drop and a balanced S. So this shaped detail I did, I made a thing, as you see on the last video, but to get the outside arcs for the soldiers, obviously I've had to make 2 trammels up. So as you can see, that's how we're going to do it. So now that'll give us the brick on edge there, look. Now if it's 600, obviously we have to add on a bit for the soldier core. So on this side, on an external one, you'd add on the soldier. On an internal, you've got to take off the soldier, so that'll be shorter. So quick little tip for you, if you're ever doing something like this, a brick on edge over a radius like you can see here, the only way to know if that's running true is to put a right angle on it that way. And also, because it's difficult to level, the other way to do it is to square it up at the front like that as well, so you know you're not coming or going on the back. Because it'd be quite easy, especially up that run there, it'd be quite easy to sort of lose it and have the brick angling down without realising. So that's one quick tip for you. So I mentioned how the best way to do these curves, to make sure you're running level backwards and obviously running true to the line there. But if you look at the back, that right angle trick definitely works, because you can see it's as smooth at the back as it is at the front. Now, if that wasn't smooth at the back, and you had one cocking up and then one going down and cocking up and that running out, the curve at the front wouldn't make any difference, because all you'd see is the indifference at the back. Now, I'm going to struggle making it look smooth, obviously we're having all the bits and pieces at the back, but obviously all I can do is the best that I can do, and the best way of doing it is with a square, and that will keep you, you know, true at the back. Well, I had a little hospital visit with my mate Mike. He had a little accident, so I didn't quite get finished, but about an hour in the morning it'll be done. But it is starting to look quite smart, I think. So look at that, when it's full bricks at the top, almost like I'd planned it. Whilst you're here, can you hire this wall by 3 courses and roll over the end like the other side? Yeah, no problem. Of course I can. I've got nowhere else to be. Anyway, what are you doing here?
So, what I've now done is I've put the Voisseurs lines in, and I've also put in our 3mm joint on them.
Yeah. Because
of the size being 300, we've got a brick and a half in a sense.
Yeah.
We want it to be full brick at the bottom for the key brick.
Yeah.
And half at the top. And we know, after working it out, that it's 99mm for the half.
Yeah.
And obviously 102 to allow for the 3mm joint. So I've gone through and marked the 99 on alternatives.
So that makes the full brick a 198.
Yes.
So 299 is 198, which is, yeah. One thing worth mentioning as well, obviously you've got a full brick on the keystone, on the key brick, And you also want one on the first voice-wire. Hence why it's an even amount either side of the key brick.
Yeah.
Because then you end in the right form.
Yeah. So that's that. So we've done the 99mm off this one, and then I can measure 99mm from this line, put that through, put the joint in, and that is a completed.
And then it's just a case of cutting it out. So we'll have a look when you're done. So as you can see, we've cut all our templates now. Obviously this is a right hand one, so what you do is you flip it to do the left hand side of the arch. So now we're on to marking them and cutting them. So what I do is I get the template, right, so I mean it might be, you know, people do it differently, but this is how I do it. I mark it around with a Stanley knife all the way around, boop, 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 boop. And then what I do is I put a pencil line in the groove of the Stanley knife, so if you rub it off it's still going to be there, so when the disc goes round fast it doesn't blow it completely away. There's always a faint line at the very least. Do a wax on wax off, Ollie. Right, wax on wax off, that's it. And now try the template, because it's only about 1/2 mil, isn't it? What's it looking like, brother?
Very nice.
This is our quality control station. So here, what Ollie's doing, he's checking to see how well I've cut it. And if he's got any little adjustments, he can sand it down, and obviously he's checking to make sure it's been cut square. Which so far we've done alright, but yeah, it's not bad. Not bad, mate. So what does that mean? Just a little rub here and there. You've got to bear in mind though, with these faces, because it's a face rather than a rub, you're always going to have a little bit of thing, but all you want to do is just wax on, wax off till you get it perfect.
It's just that little corner there, that's all it is.
What, just out?
Yeah, just that little bit.
So with that then,
you see that bit there, that's all it is.
yeah, so with that you want to put your heel of your hand down and then lower it down in. Yeah, see how we waxed on and waxed off, and now it should be alright. Good?
That's better. Now
Yeah. So because we're using metric bricks on the house, unfortunately, the rubbers, they come in imperial width. So we've got to cut them down first, which is a pain, but it doesn't take 2 minutes with a clipper saw. So when you're cutting these, you've got to be prepared that every now and then you're going to have one of these. And you cut it fucking perfectly line, lift it up, and a bit falls off the corner. It's a right ball bag, but it is what it is. Another thing to note is when you're cutting them on these clippers, you've got to make sure that your cutting tray is brushed off every cut, because otherwise what'll happen is you'll sit them on there and they won't sit flat, and then the cutter will angle. So if it was sort of sat on a bit of debris or something, it might cut on an angle. So it's always better to be just religiously just keep brushing them off. And what you'll notice is I'm not using a water feed. Now, if you were cutting a normal brick, just doing cuts or arches, you would. But obviously what you'll get is if you use a wet brick, it'll collect on the sandpaper when you rub them. So obviously we're cutting them dry so that we can rub them down. Otherwise it will just clam up the paper. So as you can see, we're stacking them on some insulation, stopping them getting damaged. But what we've also done is we put some of the buffalo board in between, so that when they move, they don't clatter together and chip. Because if they clang together, they can chip the edges, and then also the cuts and the rubbing and everything you've done will be going to waste. So you just got to take your time and, you know, be belt and braces with everything. Cut little bits of buffalo board, put them on insulation or something that can't damage them, and it just saves the hassle and the worry. So it's a sunny day, but we had to put the gazebo up because when it's sunny you can't see the laser guide. Well, we're all cut. All 6 of them are done. 2 days plus the geometry. So if you say 3 days all in all to work it all out, cut the templates, cut the bricks, sand them, the whole shebang. All these brickies on site saying they're earning £3 a fucking minute or whatever it is. We probably earn more doing this through skill and knowledge than what they have laying thousands and thousands of bricks per day, and so on and so forth. Knowledge is king. So for you yesterday that asked me after my reel went up, what exactly was I cutting? Literally what we're doing is replicating the arch you got here. They've got arches all the way down this facade, bar that bullseye, which is a bad bullseye, so take the next to that. A bodge job on a listed building many years ago probably. So yeah, so these arches, they're going to continue onto our work there. So some of the work I've been doing this week, obviously I've put up the arches and that little sort of bespoke detail with that sweep on that wall and I've had a lot of messages from various different people, you know, young lads on site and that. Now, I have been relatively lucky with some of the jobs I've done, no doubt about that. I mean, I had 5 years on a traditional building company, subbing for them, and I picked up a lot of things that I know today, which I may not have ever known. But there's, you know, you're not stuck on site. If that, you know, if you don't enjoy it, it's not what you want to do. You've got to find ways and means of getting off there, whether it's working weekends doing bits and bobs, jobs of your own or whatever, or your dad knows a mate in the pub that does this or that, or even contacting you know, a traditional building company and saying, look, I've worked on site, you know, it's not where I want to be, I've got trowel experience, but I just need, you know, an extra little sort of thing to add to, you know, feathers in your cap, so to speak. And you might find that these companies will be willing to take lads on and teach you the bespoke, the arches, all that kind of thing. You've just got to be willing, you've got to be open to it, you've got to find ways, you know, not give up. I mean, you know, if you don't enjoy it, do something different. It's never too late, I promise you. I promise you that for a fact. I mean, Ollie, obviously, with the 7 months he's been with me so far, he's been exposed to the more technical parts of it, and I can only teach him what I'm doing currently on the job. So yeah, he's sort of done it a bit backwards, I suppose. I mean, some of the basic stuff he hasn't done so much of, but some of the technical stuff he's done more of than some 30, you know, bricklayers have been laying for 30 years. But you know, that's just part and parcel of it. And you know, Ollie's open to try anything, and he's not one of these people that stand back and watch. You know, there's times where he's got to watch to learn stuff, but there's times he just grabs the ball by the horns. It's not me pushing him, oh come on Ollie, I don't have to do that. He automatically wants to do more. So with them arches, he could quite easily watch me sort all them out, and so he goes, oh, that's easy when you know, and I say, right, you do it then. And he does it, puts his money where his mouth, he gives it a go. And you know, there's times where he gets things wrong, and there are times where he fucking excels beyond what I think. But it's because he's open to learning the whole time. I mean, there's blokes I speak to online, that I speak to on a daily, 60-year-old fellas that are still, to this day, say they're still learning things. I mean, I don't know at all, I can assure you of that. There's things that I've never done, but there's nothing I wouldn't be able to do, you know, given a bit of time, bit of preparation, bit of research. I mean, there's ways and means of finding these things out. I mean, the Nash books, for one. You read the Nash book right through and you read it again. The first time, some of it you won't understand. Even the second time you read it through, you won't understand. But with certain reels from certain different people on the socials, with different bits, Rob Songer, people like that, you look at what they do on YouTube, videos like that, and then you look at the Nash books to back that up, and then you watch that again and you look at the Nash books again, and then it all starts to make sense. And then you can make mock situations in your garden. Get a sheet of ply, give yourself a fake size. Oh well, the windows are 1.50 m or 1.20 m, whatever, and try and do the geometry, try and work it out. And if you're not sure on it and you still can't get it, give me a shout and I'll be able to explain, maybe, possibly, or I might be able to point you in the right direction. So there's always ways and means. There's lots of resources you can go to. It's just a case of being open to it and applying yourself, I promise you. So all this part's coming down, and all this is going to be rebuilt again, as was, but new. And then this is all going to go.
Yeah.
I believe that's what we said. That's all going to go and be rebuilt. And come here, darling. Come here, being singers, darling. Before those women singing out, don't put you on the shoulders. This elevation is just going to be a repair jobby and a touch up as and when we need to and restore it. It's not being me, it was more of a thing.
Yeah.
So we've got this wall, going to be a repair jobby and all the tops be redone.
Yeah. And then
This bit you can see it's all perished. These are so-called Wincanton brick apparently, and they're soft as pup. So over the years they've just decayed to a degree that he's not happy with it. So we're going to rebuild a large majority of it. We've got to redo this cambered arch. Obviously anything like this is going to be sorted out.
yeah.
We're going to, you're pulling my eyes out, darling. We're going to do any repairs we need on these radiuses.
Yeah.
I'll put you down now, baby. So some of them probably cut out and replace, recut,
Yeah.
shape them up, put them in. And we got this one the same. Rebuild the whole gable with the new radius. And the rubbed and gauge work again. This bit I think we're just going to take out the bits and pieces that have spoiled badly and patch up anywhere where necessary.
Yeah.
Look, we've got to do.
So if you look at the finish on these, it's called a penny joint. You can see it's kind of got like a thin line that runs through it.
Arch, look, you can see some of them are spoiled.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a case of bringing it back to life best we can, maybe a couple of little bits of infill here and there and a touch up, and some of them got to be cut out and done again. Same with this.
Same with this one.
This one we're going to try and save. We've got a little bit of stitching to do above, as you can see it's probably moved, and we've got to recut that in. And then you can see some of the banding courses, we'll have to repair them. And we've got this arch that I probably suspect we're going to be redoing. Been a busy old week this week for us, running around everywhere, trying to please everyone. Saturday morning, just popping round to my other job. Got a roofing down there. One you may have seen, a little side extension that Ollie took charge of. Roof goes on that today, and we've got some steels going in there week after next, so that one will be moving again soon. Been held up because the decision's been waiting on some windows and doors. They couldn't really make their mind up who they were going with, trying to save a bit of money, but it's put the job back a little bit. As you get sometimes with these kind of jobs where you sort of half run it. I mean, on this one we were just doing the groundwork, brickwork roof, and now we've got the plastering to do. I haven't personally, but I'm going to pass it on to a fellow that I use. Obviously when they self-manage, it's a bit of a difficult one at times, because you sort of want to intervene and say, oh, well, you're just better off going here or doing that or whatever. But you know, it's down to them. It's their money. It's their job. But yeah, it just leads to a little bit of running around and pissing about. But there we have it. So this is that little extension I was talking about, if you remember. Just got to put a little bit in there that I didn't get around to because it was raining, and then the roofer's going to be doing this. Door comes for this on the 14th, so that'll be closed in then, and then we've got to take that back wall out and that side wall out to open it all up, and plaster it, and then that's our contract finished. So in next week's video, you should see us have all them arches in if weather's in our favour and we then got pulled away. We got this job where I did that sweep. They got an oak frame going in there, but there's been a few little issues with that. Not our doing, but just with the frame itself. We went there yesterday to build in one of the purlins to find out one of the main, 6x2 oak trusses wasn't quite right, so we may have to go over there and build some bits in just to get that frame on. But if we have a good run this week, you should see us have them arches in, which would be a good one for a few of you if you've not seen them before, or if you have, might not be so good, but it's something a bit different to the standard.